I think you really gave me another aha moment, kind of reading your stuff, watching your stuff, was the future of the supply chain is going to be personal. I think that makes so much sense, especially after seeing it, right? It is
Yeah.
personal. It's like you say, it's the customer support and stuff. Where do you think it's gonna be felt the most in business?
So certainly retail, right? That is the big evolution we're going through at the moment. The evolution of retail from physical stores to personal delivery. I mean, we literally live in a world now where you can be lying in your hammock, shout out to Amazon Alexa, bring me some stuff, and then an hour later it arrives on your door, right? That is godlike power that we have built into our current supply chain. Speak, and it will and make it so, right? And it can just happen. So that's kind of where we're at. But it's not just retail; it is also happening in B2B, and it has been happening in B2B for a while. So we saw the big change in a number of years ago now in corporate stationery deliveries. Right back in the olden days, you just had a stationery cupboard in the office floor, and everyone raided it. It's at back to school time every year for pens and notepads and things for their kids. and,
Absolutely did.
um,
I
right,
still was doing
that's just what happened.
it.
So, it was just like a free shopping cart for people to buy stuff, and someone would, some supply person would just replenish it. And they didn't care. That's what happened. So to counteract that and to actually give people exactly what they need, we went to the delivery to desktop, and we had a business here, Corporate Express or Blue Star Office, and there's a bunch of them. I'm sure they're all in the US as well. So now those sort of things at a personal level, and we're seeing that now with uniforms and personal protective equipment, anything that an individual uses within a business has the potential to go down to the personal level. Obviously, the big bulky stuff, right, that's not happening, right? So if you're a manufacturer and you need bulk raw materials for your manufacturing operation, all of that traditional supply chain is like, that's not going anywhere. That is still it's going to stay the same because it's just fundamental to how things need to be done. But anything that is for the individual, whether it is in a retail or in a business context, is going to increasingly going to be delivered to at a personal level. Now, what that does in the supply chain in the warehouse is it makes everything much more complex, and it makes all of the processes within the warehouse much more labour intensive. So that's where the technology, warehouse management systems or physical automation, right? Because let's not forget about robotics and automation, and there's a whole bunch of tools that are there as well. All of that is needed because a few years ago it was just put on a pallet and delivered to a store. Now it's got to be wrapped up with a whole bunch of other products, with a little ribbon on it and a personal note, and delivered to someone's house or someone's desk, within a business. It's just like it's the level of effort is so much harder. But the thing that is weird about that is that if you do that efficiently, it actually saves money because you don't have the stationery cupboard anymore. There's less waste in the overall system from doing that. So we just have to accept that is the way the world is going. That is what people want, and new supply chains are being forged to deliver that as efficiently as they possibly can. And I think there's still some way to go. I think that the future is we're going to see more crowdsourced freight, right? So particularly where anyone will just jump in their car and they'll do a few deliveries around the local neighbourhood in the evening. So we're going to see, and that's already happening now. But I think we're going to see more of that because people want to get deliveries when they're home, not sort of when they're at work. So all of this sort of revolution in the supply chain is going on right now, and people are building systems and processes and new businesses around supplying that need. And it's just going to get better and better and better, I think, over time.
Man, crowdsourced freight. It makes so much sense, the gig economy and
It's
stuff like that.
it's
But
Uber, right?
yeah, I know that here we've got Uber Freight, which is
Yeah.
essentially like, hey, trying to reduce those empty miles for the truck drivers and stuff. But I think, like you say, it's that white glove, like at home service that it's gonna happen. It makes a ton of sense.